We're live. What's up, dude? Okay,
The
sorry.
name's Bond.
James Bond Jr.
Do you want to
Quick,
explain to the kids who James Bond Jr. is?
well, I was going to say, quick aside. Do you remember the Sega Genesis game James Pond?
No. Was that about like frogs and shit?
Yeah, you were like a little tadpole.
That's
And
so good. Do you
yeah,
grow up to be like an actual frog?
yeah, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to open up another internet tab and look up James Pond and then share my screen.
That's great. Wow.
Okay.
Damn, I didn't get the message that we were doing James Bond themed name tags in this. I could have come up with something good.
You can still change it.
No, I'm just Ian Flemmy.
That's good. Okay. Let's see if this works. Do you see it?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
See,
So this is like what I remember is this one, James Pond.
This stuff is so humbling because you think you're a creative person, you
working.
think you're funny, and then you see shit like this and you're just put in your place. Like I will never, if I live to be 100, I will never have an idea as smart as James Pond.
Oh my God, look at this one. James Pond Robocod. That's great.
Oh my goodness. Robocod?
Robocod. That's pretty great.
Fuck, I'm retiring, dude. This is the last this is the last time I ever talk about James Bond ever again.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, sorry for the quick aside, everyone. All right. Sorry, we'll get started. Thank you, Mike, for joining, man. Thank you so much for coming up with this idea of remake, rewatch, recycle, or whatever we called it.
Whatever we're calling it. We're calling it something, by golly.
Something like that, yeah. And you chose Casino Royale movies. And also, I guess we should say thank you, FAMRA, our sponsor, FAMRA, so much. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring us. And you can join us over there on FAMRA. It is a free app you can download, and it's a lot of fun. We're on a dance floor right now.
Yeah, it's a swinging 60s kind of groovy dance floor. We got a lava lamp in the background. I don't know why we're sitting on a dance floor, but I feel like, maybe the fun drugs are wearing off.
Yeah, my guy put his arms up when he tapped the screen. Does he do anything for you?
He's yawning. Yeah, I'm yawning. That's great.
Yeah, it's kind of fitting for the first Casino Royale.
For the 60. Well, it's kind of fitting for both the first two Casino Royales because obviously the 67 one is has this swinging 60s psychedelia, and the 54 one is boring as all hell. So it's kind of sleepy.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the
show,
or do you want
let's give it in broad strokes? Because I mean, we're talking about one thing, which is Casino Royale. Like, what is Casino Royale in its essence? It's about this guy named James Bond, who's basically a cop who really loves gambling or is good at gambling.
I was gonna say, yeah, he just wants to play some cards, man. For high stakes.
He's really good at cards. He loves the ladies.
Yeah,
and he murders people.
He's good at that too. Yeah.
So he's it's actually, you could draw some interesting connections between James Bond and Bad Lieutenant.
yeah, that works, and they did what they're good at, and they didn't do it for free. They got paid for it.
They absolutely did. These movies really, I feel like someone could make an argument that there's kind of a reactionary slant to remake, reboot, recycle. The way that we kind of glorify law enforcement in this way. It's always these hard living men, this ladies and gentlemen, the weekend kind of
classic Daniel Craig line.
Classic Daniel Craig line.
Forever infamized in Twitter.
But I mean, I
love seeing that every Friday.
Yeah, that super cut, it needs to be in like the museum of the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences. Like, that should actually be the first thing when you enter the museum. It just plays on loop. Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. He's so defeated. He really doesn't seem to be thrilled about the weekend.
Is there like a internet history library or something you can
There's actually a Twitter account, and I forget what it is, but it's different celebrities introducing the musical acts at Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That's neat. I would like a refresher instead of seeing Daniel Craig every Friday.
Oh yeah. I think Nathan Lane introduces Metallica.
That's
Yeah,
great.
but he gets really into it. He's like stoked about Metallica.
Metallica.
Um, I just rewatched Metallica Some Kind of Monster documentary. Oh
Oh
fuck,
wow.
that shit's so good, dude.
You know, it's funny because my wife's some reason recently got into Metallica, and that was like my first band I loved when I was a little kid, and so I just have huge nostalgia for them. And I got to go see them live before, and and so she wanted to go see them live. So for a while, we're like, should we go fly here, fly there? And then after a while, you know, COVID kind of resurged and we gave up. But uh, uh, yeah, man, I forget where I was going with that. Well, there's a point to that story. Right
It was
now,
good. I liked it. Well, you
oh
know,
well.
that movie's so wild because it's
Oh
by
yeah.
the same filmmakers that did Paradise Lost, and
Uh,
they're such good filmmakers. They're such strong documentarians, and they're like, it just kind of shows how weird it is to be that kind of artist at that particular age because they're not young guys, and like there's a weird subplot where Lars is selling all of his Basquiat paintings at Sotheby's, the auction house, and he's just like in like the private viewing room getting like wasted on champagne, watching his paintings get sold for millions of dollars and trying to record this album. Anyway,
yeah,
we're getting
well,
so far off topic.
yeah. Well,
Casino
that was
Royale, James
sorry.
Bond.
Sorry to go back to Metallica, but that was my point. Was like, yes, the film. I was gonna see if she wanted to watch Some Kind of Monster, and she didn't want to watch that one. And I almost got her to watch the other one that has like their kind of movie and kind of live show all in one
Oh,
thing.
yeah, the 3D one.
Yeah, I forget what the hell that was called,
I forget.
but I watched that once, and you know, it was it was fun for me just seeing Metallica play live.
Yeah,
Even though yes, there's plenty of footage up there out there and better stuff, better songs, but it looked okay, and I didn't think the story was very good though. But um, yeah, that's where I was going with that story. But yes, Casino Royale. What do you want to start with? Yeah, do you want to start with like the 54 or the 67?
Well, do you want to just for the uninitiated, do you want to kind of like break down the essential plot?
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's tough to say. There's a James. I feel like I have a hard time with a lot of spy things because I really love them. I really love the aesthetics of spy movies,
mhm,
particularly 60 spy movies. But I feel like I have this undiagnosed condition where I kind of go into a fugue state when I watch them, and I kind of can't really track the plot of what's important in these movies. Like I know that he's a spy and I know he
uh,
has to do something, and there's a pretty girl, and there's a handsomely photographed location, and there's a bad guy, Lashif, that he somehow has to, play cards against.
mhm.
But I don't know why any of these things are happening. And I have this experience time and time again, and not just with James Bond pictures, but other uh, adjacent genre pieces with Modesty Blaze and with Danger Diabolique and things like that.
Yeah, I think it was because what Lashif owed the Russians or some people some money, and he decided to gamble it away. I guess instead of paying them back, or use their funds to maybe try to double his profits or something. Who knows? But yeah,
Hmm.
he was in debts, and he really needed to win the game, either poker or baccarat. Forgot which ones they're playing in each movie. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, and then James Bond, you know, of course, eventually wins, and the other guy is, you know, kind of screwed. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny. Just there's a lot of like, I feel like baggage when it comes to the '67 one. There was like what, five directors,
oh yeah, a
five
bunch of people got fired.
writers.
John Huston was directing it at one point, and he cameos as one of the generals in the beginning.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I guess we should maybe start with the 54 version. Let's
Mhm.
go chronologically. It was
Yeah, I
done
like that.
for the anthology TV series Climax. I love a
Yeah,
title with an exclamation point in it.
totally.
And I guess Ian Fleming had sold the rights
Hmm.
for some paltry sum. I think before the book even came out.
I think it was $1,000.
Yes, in 1950.
54, I think. Oh, okay.
54. Well, the show came out in 54. Yeah. So I think the important thing. I mean,
Mhm.
like, look, there's so many things that are compelling about this. I mean, number one being Peter Lorre as Lashif
Yeah, that was awesome.
is probably the worth the price of admission.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I saw his name in the credits. I was like, yes, that's awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's kind of sleepwalking through his role a
Sure,
little bit.
sure. Yeah.
Also, like an important thing that I feel like I didn't know until embarking on this journey was the first James Bond was American, and I seldom feel any sort of national pride, but I
Mhm.
kind of felt like we got one over on the British.
Yeah, that was really funny because I did watch this one guy was doing reviews. I'm like, oh, what's this asshole have to say about this movie real quick, whatever. And right away it was some English guy and he was so mad that it was an American. I was like, yes. I was so
I
happy. He was
know,
so mad.
I
I like
know.
thumbs down his video and like moved on.
Bar- Barry Nelson is the original James Bond. He's who we have to look to as like the measuring stick, and
Yeah.
it's in inches, not centimeters, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right. No metric system here.
yeah, no, get the fuck out. But god damn, I think we can also answer the question: is who was the worst James Bond? And it's for sure Barry Nelson.
I might even say
You would go Lazenby?
no, I like Lazenby. I was thinking like maybe Peter Sellers. Uh but yeah, although he wasn't
Oh,
technically
you
James
get like
Bond, he kind of
20
was.
James Bonds to pick
Yeah,
from in the
yeah,
67 Casino Royale.
right, yeah. But I guess apparently with that one, like Peter Sellers was apparently like a total dickhead on set,
Oh my
and
god,
like
I love the story. Okay, well, like I'm a big Orson Welles fan,
yeah,
and
me too. I love that.
I
He was
love
awesome, the chief.
I love the fact that he refused to participate in the film unless he could perform a magic trick on screen, and so that's why they say the chief's over at the craps table doing his magic routine, and he's levitating a woman over the craps table,
Yes,
which is I
that's
love that,
awesome.
and also I guess Peter Sellers' girlfriend at the time. The story that I understand
Mhm.
as Peter Sellers' girlfriend came to visit the set, and all she
I
wanted
heard
to
it wasn't
do.
his girlfriend. It was like a princess or something like that, or some kind of royalty, a duchess maybe.
Oh,
But he was kind of like bragging that he knew her, and he was excited that she was coming. I didn't hear that he was that they were dating. That they were very well could have been. But instead of going like into his arms, she ran right into Orson Welles' arms, and then was like she knew him already, and they were friends already. So they of course reconnected, and was having a good time, laughing at things, and he just got really mad that he got like ignored or whatever because he had an ego problem, and he
two.
refused to be on the same, I guess, set or screen. They had to shoot them separately.
Well, the ending of that story that
Mhm.
I heard was that he was so upset he walked off set and never came back, and that's why they had to kill off his James Bond in such like
Wow.
a quick way. And also, he's always wearing like a bag over his head, and like his death scene is kind of like weird and psychedelic and hellish, and because like they kind of had to like cobble together the exit of that character with footage they didn't really
That
have.
makes sense. Yeah. Wow. Gosh, he's that sucks because like I was like a fan of his before I knew that story. And it kind of is a bummer whenever you hear someone's like a dickhead like on set or on screen or have a big ego.
Not like Woody Allen though.
Yeah.
The young people's favorite, Woody Allen,
I
coming
know
in
it was
as Jimmy Bond.
Jimmy Bond, the what, nephew of James Bond.
Yes, yeah. James Bond's
Hilarious.
nephew, who turns out to be the real villain. And
Yes.
who'd
Yeah.
have thunk it that Woody
Woody
Allen was
Allen's
a
a
villain
villain.
all along? Yeah.
Yeah. What? Um,
Talk about casting against type. My goodness.
I loved his introduction though, where he's like
Oh yeah, he's gonna be gunned
facing the
down.
fire squad. Yeah, he's facing the firing squad. Asked for a cigarette, or I guess asked for a light because he already had the cigarette that was like a weapon, and threw it, and it was like a bomb. And then he like jumped a fence and landed, and you're like, oh, he landed at because you see the boots. He landed next to a guy. He's like, oh no, he's landed next to a soldier. and then it scrolls up and it's like a guy that's blindfolded in front of another firing squad. That was just so great. I love that. Then of course he gets shot at and runs, but great introduction to that character. And it cracked me up just because he's just kind of a small puny guy and just a good comedic on screen presence before we knew about his reputation of what he is now. But
He, you know what, Woody Allen is history's greatest monster, but he's really effective in Casino Royale.
yes. Do you have like it was like, gosh, that was so hard for me to watch, like at first, like the 67 one. There's so much going on, and it was hard to keep track at first of like who's who and what's happening. And at one point, the first James Bond you meet, who's like older and kind of retired.
Yeah, David Niven. Yeah.
Yes, who's awesome.
Mhm.
And he ends up being M later on. Takes on the role of M. And at first I was like, oh wait, he's M now. I guess that makes sense. And that, that's kind of a cool thing to see James Bond become M. I would like to see that in like the Bond movies, but even though it's kind of not really what his character would do. But do you have like a favorite part in that movie? Because I feel like it's everywhere and there's so many scenes.
I mean, anytime Orson is on screen, I'm just hypnotized by this man.
Yeah.
No matter, I mean, that guy, the greatest speaking voice, certainly in American history. I mean, I could listen to that guy read the phone book.
Same.
In my head, what stands out to me is like when it just drifts into such crazy pastiche, like when they're suddenly in like a German expressionist set and like everything's made out of paper and the shadows are painted on the walls and really crazy angles. All the stuff with his daughter with Mata Hari is really crazy. Like, I think that the gag of, well, of course there would be a million James Bonds, I think is so clever, and it's something that I kind of feel like was a missed opportunity in to not return to this gag in some of the more serious Bond pictures. Like, why wouldn't there be? It's almost like it kind of predates the multiverse or the Spider-Verse kind of.
Yeah, all these James Bonds, everywhere.
Yeah, why isn't there the
I like that idea of giving everyone the code name of 007 or James Bond, and that was kind of like I think that's a lot of people's fan theory for James Bonds of why there's a different actor playing James Bond. So it's like you like to think that it's a different Bond. It just takes on the title of 007. It's like a title, and I thought that was pretty cool that they did that.
But I mean, again, for someone who has kind of like a spy plotline blindness, I felt like I could, like, the 67 James Bond is such a mess. I mean, it's such a fiasco of a picture. I kind of feel like you can kind of just relax your eyes a little bit. It's like one of those, like, magic eye things that you would see at the mall where you kind of like just stare at it a little bit cockeyed and you're like, oh, there's a 3D Triceratops in a graveyard there. And I feel like that's what the 67 James Bond energy. It's also, again, like, we've talked about this in previous editions of Remake, Reboot, Recycle, how in dissecting the same film remade at different points of time, you're kind of engaging with different historical epochs. And so, like, the 54 Bond, of course, feels very stiff and mid 50s and kind of like World War II shell shock, kind of like, okay, we're doing live television, we can only move so much. A lot of like the weird thing about the 54 version was like how much screen time is devoted to explaining the game of Baccarat.
Yeah, that was
I was like,
fun.
damn, y'all are really leaning into this. Like, I feel like they were like thinking like this game's gonna catch on. Like, everyone's gonna be playing Baccarat, in 55.
They also try to use it as like a cover for their conversation, so that they don't want to get caught as being spies or whatever.
That was clever, yeah.
But it's like they did go back that a lot, where it's like, yeah, I understand doing that for like one scene or one person walks by, and then you kind of change the discussion. But it happened like over and over and over again, where you almost got to the whole entire game of Baccarat, and it's like, all right.
And we didn't even watch like the real version of it because the original airing was in color, and we've only been able to watch black and white versions. And you found the ending that had originally been lopped off of the official version.
Right. Yeah. Usually it just kind of goes to black. on the
Yeah.
official version, but this one it shows what happened when it went black. Yeah, of course, Peter Lorre fights back. Has like a knife
He
or a
holds
razor or
it's a
something.
razor blade. He holds a razor
Yeah,
blade to her throat.
it
But
looked like
in
he cut
the
his hands. I hope he didn't cut his hand in real life. It looked all bloody. I was like, oh, did he cut himself by accident?
well, I think it's because he had touched the fake blood on his lapel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the official ending of James Bond saying "call the police" so pathetically was wild. I was like, "Damn, that's what they went on." Like, that is brutal. Like, can you imagine the international man of mystery, like, kind of turning
Call the
to
police.
call the police? Like, ugh,
Someone help.
grim. Barry
Yeah.
Nelson, not a good look. Um,
um,
let's talk about 2006.
yeah, man. I was thinking of the juxtaposition of you like I said, a Bond who's like helpless and says call the police, then another Bond who is like poisoned and goes into cardiac arrest and like is really toughens it out because he could have walked past like uh uh the girl, his love interest in the movie, like and walks past any of his friends and say, whisper, I've been poisoned and gotta go, maybe follow me or something, or like send a guy out for me in 5 minutes, or just no, he just wanted to try to take care of it himself. But yeah, Vesper is what I was thinking was her name, Vesper.
Yes.
Cool name. I like that.
Yeah, really good naming conventions in Bond. In the 54 one, her name was like Valerie or something like that.
How'd you like the opening parkour scene?
Again, it's like these movies are such time capsules. I
Yeah.
remember 2004 to 2006,
Uh-huh.
parkour was such hot shit.
Yep.
You know, I remember like right when YouTube fucking cracked off in '05, like so many parkour videos.
Yep. And also those like Eastern European videos of like people climbing high rises and like freestyle jumping off of them and
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, the '06 version, the first Daniel Craig Bond
Mhm.
appearance, the first non-Pierce Brosnan
Yeah. Yeah.
uh one in a while. The film that gave, introduced American audiences to Mads Mikkelsen for the
Mhm.
most part.
Yeah, dude.
Uh
He's great. I mean, do you have a favorite uh what's the villain's name?
Lashif.
Lashif. Do you have a favorite Lashif?
Well, this is the thing is like I think the post that you did on slow heavy metal music playing is so good because you see each version of the characters in each
Mhm.
epoch, and it's tough. You have it's like like the fuck Mary kill of Peter Lorre, Mads Mikkelsen, and Orson Welles. I guess Mary Orson, fuck Mads Mikkelsen, kill Peter Lorre.
Amen. Yeah, same. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, Peter Lorre, but
Sorry, Peter
yeah.
Lorre.
Yeah.
He's a great, tremendous performer.
Yeah. Mhm.
Great stage and screen presence.
Mhm.
Disgusting to look at. Would not fuck.
Yeah.
Controversial opinion, but that's what I'm going with.
I always just imagine him, being like Igor or something, just going like, "Yes, master." All the Looney Tunes, homages of him.
He's so in the run of Roger Corman produced Edgar Allan Poe adaptations.
Mm.
He did all these ones in the '60s, starting with The Fall of the House of the Usher, and then he went on to do like Mask of the Red Death, Pit and the Pendulum, and then he did one based on The Raven, which is a really weird picture, and it's kind of tonally similar to Casino Royale and how messy it is. I don't know if you remember The Raven is like it's a very slight poem.
Hmm.
I heard uh, on my window,
Yeah.
rapping on my, or it was rapping on my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "only this and nothing more." And then the Raven comes in and starts reminding him of his lost love, Lenore.
Mm.
Uh, that's the poem, and so not a lot happens. Corman extends this poem to this really kind of fantastical story about all of these different wizards, with Boris Karloff
Oh
being a
well.
good wizard, and he's squaring off against I forget who the villain wizard is, but Jack Nicholson plays his nephew, and Peter Lorre plays the Raven, and the Raven is actually a wizard disguised as a bird. and so it's it's 60s era Laurie, and he's real sweaty and really unpleasant to look at.
And so he's
But
dressed as a bird, though, like as the Raven. He's dressed as a
I
Raven.
mean, he's wearing robes, but he
Okay,
does appear initially as the Raven.
gotcha. He's just
But
really
you can
sweaty and
imagine,
gross looking.
the Raven, a Raven with Peter Lorre's voice, kind of checks out in your imagination.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Um, but yeah, I wouldn't have sex with Peter Lorre. I guess that's the punchline of that
Yeah,
of that thread.
that's
I mean, what would you agree though? You would that's
that's
the
the order.
order. Yeah,
That is
for
the
sure,
order. Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I mean, Orson Welles is like God. He's just so
Yeah, yeah.
amazing, and so yeah, for sure. And God, and Mads Mikkelsen was amazing performance. He looked great. He had the gray eye and like a scar. He had the blood tear. Um, yeah, great villain. Great villain.
Tremendous.
And that movie was great too. That's my favorite Daniel Craig Bond movie.
Well, I really appreciate how contained it is. I haven't seen any of the other. I saw Quantum of Solace,
Mhm.
and that was the last one that I
Okay.
watched. But I remember the problem with the end of the Bronson bonds.
Mhm.
The machinations just got too big, and everything just got a little bit too crazy, and the scope and the scale, it's all so much. And what I appreciated about uh the Craig Casino Royale was how contained it felt. You
Yeah.
have a few big set pieces, obviously the ending in Venice and the beginning, the parkour scene, kind of bookended, but it's really just kind of in this casino for a
Mhm.
lot of it.
Mhm.
And it's like a little, aside from the machete fight in the stairwell, which I thought was very, well executed. There's a bluntness to the brutality in this
Oh yeah.
picture that I find really compelling. And
Mhm.
but besides that, these interludes, like, it's kind of insider baseball-y.
Yeah, I like a good card game movie. I like the stakes being over a table where everyone just sits and like stares at each other, and I like
Mm-hmm.
that. As you said, the Pierce Brosnan Bond movies, I feel the same way. Where it's like the first one was my favorite, was GoldenEye, and
Mm-hmm.
then all the rest got more ridiculous, and I kind of felt like I was like building Legos. I was building like the Batmobile and Technic, So I was
Mm-hmm.
watching some, not even watching, just having them on in the background. Some the older Batman films from '89 through Batman and Robin, and of course they got more and more ridiculous as it went on. But it reminded me of the Bond movies of how ridiculous they got. I feel like those Bond movies might as well be produced by Joel Schumacher. It was just or directed by Joel Schumacher. But yeah, it was ridiculous. But uh, this one was a lot of fun, man. I really like Casino Royale a lot, and I have I feel like each time it's on, like I have to watch it. It's just so enjoyable for me.
I think it's also nice to see Ava Green in such a great role as Vesper Lind.
Mhm.
I think she's a tremendous, tremendous actor. And every time I've seen her in something, she just really gives it her all. And she's a really good, and especially like in the early scenes with Craig, they
Yeah,
have this repartee where they're sizing each other up, and you
yeah,
really get a feeling of like, oh wow, like they're really well matched to each other, to the point where, like, if the movie just kind of switched angles and focused just on her character, it would be just as compelling.
sure, yeah,
She's so well realized, and like I was kind of reminded. She reminded me a lot of Ava Marie Saint in North by Northwest, the Hitchcock picture. I don't know if you've ever seen that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, I thought that, as far as kind of like the lady spy character is concerned, there was this sharpness to her, and kind of like a mercenary quality that
mhm.
I don't know. I just thought that she was tremendous in this
Yeah.
one.
I like how she wasn't, I guess, helpless. She was very
Yeah, she's
intelligent.
not like a damsel in distress
Right.
type.
Yeah, like you said, when they first met Bond, they have like a good tet for tet. It's back and forth meeting in the mines and uh, sizing each other up and seeing each other's motivations and their background, guessing each other's background and things. That was a fun little brain chess match there between the two. That was really enjoyable. But yeah, great introduction to the character. And then, as you said before, the knife scene where Bond kills the what African
Hmm.
warlord gangster guy, and she's there for it, and it's I guess probably the first time she's seen a death like that or helped with the death, and she kind of just goes back to the hotel room and cries in the shower in her beautiful dress and her makeup, and is just sitting in the shower, just all wet, and that was a really great scene.
Hmm.
She's a great actor.
Yeah, and I was just looking this up. That Isak de Bancol, I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, is one of the African
Mhm.
backers,
Gotcha.
and he's been in a lot of Jim Jarmusch's pictures. He was in Limits of Control, Night on Earth. Was in Claire Denis movies. I love Claire Denis films, and I mean, between him and Mats Mikkelsen and even Ava Green,
Hmm.
who was in The Dreamers, you get this feeling, you get this feeling of kind of like a more serious art house sensibility. Again, kind of reiterating the point that you were making about the leaving behind the Lego-ish qualities of the Brosnan Bond. However, I do think you and I part ways on this. I am kind of a Joel Schumacher apologist.
Okay.
I like Batman and Robin.
I I like
I think
Batman Forever. I don't like Batman and Robin, but I do enjoy Batman Forever.
I just think the production design is fucking gangbusters, man. Like that city looks so dope.
I like he brought back the glow in the dark gangsters from Batman Forever into Batman and Robin, and you kind of
Mhm.
got to see them again and in more detail and closer up, and I thought that was kind of cool. But and I do want to say great costume design, some great sets in there.
Yeah.
I guess you can't help the writing though. They really did a good, I guess, campy mix of the original Adam West Bond with the kind of modernized version of it. And
You
I
mean
think
Batman?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
But like the campiness, I think the audience wasn't ready for to go back to that because they already, I feel like, grew with Burton for '89, and then Returns, and then you had Forever, and I think a lot of people still like that movie when it came out. It wasn't until like years later, in modern times, like, oh, that Jim Carrey's a joke, Two Face, Tommy Lee Jones was really bad in that. And then Joel Schumacher. I guess it was probably because the failure of Batman and Robin is why they went so hard on it because of campiness on that. But
Well, if
I
there
still
he wanted
enjoy
to
it.
do a third one that was gonna have
Mhm.
Nick Cage as Scarecrow, which I think is one of the
Wow.
would have been amazing.
It
Now
all leads
there's
back to
there
Nick Cage. It all
yeah,
leads back
always
to Nick
back
Cage.
to you
That's amazing. That'd be incredible. God, I'd love to see him as Scarecrow. He'd be so good as
oh,
that.
so good. So fucking wonderful.
He'd make a really good like Mad Hatter also, but yeah, I think a better Scarecrow. It's just better framing. He would be really terrifying as that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially like circa, 97, 98, whenever that was. That's kind
Yeah.
of like 8 millimeter leaving Las Vegas
Mm,
era Nick Cage.
wow.
You're in a good window of opportunity there. But to, to that effect, you know, defending the campiness
Yeah.
of this, I think it would be a mistake to blame Pierce Brosnan. I think Pierce Brosnan was a good Bond, but he got bad scripts. And I think it was unfortunately a matter of bad timing because he's the first Bond after the end of the Soviet Union. And
Mm,
they were out of fucking books.
yeah. Yeah.
So I think they were kind of like, well, we got to keep this IP.
Right. Yeah. I remember. I think it was during Tomorrow Never Dies, or no, maybe it was Die Another Day. You have like James Bond surfing, and I was like, "Come on, I don't want to see James Bond surfing." But
That's
it's like,
bullshit.
but that matches like I guess all the other past James Bonds where he's skiing or doing whatever, and he's in Moonraker in space, and it gets more ridiculous. But I I have some nostalgia for those old Bond movies, but
You
I
know,
guess
I
good. Sorry.
oh no, sorry. No, you go for it.
Well, I was gonna say like it goes back to the 70 Casino Royale movie where I guess the success of Goldfinger uh, blew up where it was like everyone started making these spy movies you know everywhere like all around the world. It wasn't just James Bond, but he had always kind of like knockoff James Bond type of productions being or characters being made everywhere. I was thinking like maybe just UK, but no, it was everywhere. Um, I think they had like a name for that kind of film movement. I want to say it was called a Euro spy kind of film thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know that like the Casino Royale, for as messy a film as it is, and it is a big fucking mess, it was extremely successful at the box office.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, did buku numbers.
I think they said it was like the 10th most successful film that year.
That's great, fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, the budget had to have been pretty insane if you consider like all the writers, all the directors, all the actors, all the
Yeah,
sets, all the
a lot of
costume
people got
design.
fired.
Yeah, I can tell.
Budget was $12 million.
Wow, I feel like there's a lot of work that went into that movie. As you know, not good as it is, but it's still interesting and has a really lot of interesting ideas and really great set pieces and set designs and um, fun ideas, man. But it was so everywhere. It was all over the place. Even though I had kind of a through line to a certain extent, but it was quite the '70s psychedelic film.
$12 million in
Wow.
1967 is worth $100 million today.
Oh shit. Okay, so yeah, that budget was huge.
Yeah, the big fucking budget, but it did make $616.5 million. So
Holy shit.
I think they're okay.
Yeah, yeah, they did well. And I guess that was the only one they could make, right? It'd be funny if they
Well,
would
that
have
was the
just
only one
kept,
that those guys had the rights to.
yeah. What if they would have done like Casino Royale 2 or something?
Oh, they should have. I mean,
Could they
like,
have
I would
gotten
have
away with
loved to
that
have seen like
technically?
the jokey version of all the James Bonds.
Could they have taken technically getting away with that? Just saying, "Oh yeah, well, we can do Casino Royale, but we can do Casino Royale 2," or is that not like a thing? You can't
I
do that.
think they could have potentially done Casino Royale too. What they couldn't have done is they couldn't have done Doctor No.
Right. Yeah.
And like this is a whole thing about like copyright law, and I don't know if you caught this story, but it kind of tickled me. I guess a bunch of NFT characters had bought the fabled Jodorowsky
Dune.
storyboards to
Yeah.
Dune, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh man, we're gonna like publish this, and we're gonna make an animated series, and da da da, and do all this stuff." It's like that's not how copyright
Was it
works. Like you
NFT? Was it NFT guys, or I thought it was like a fan club, like a Dune fan club or something like that. That got the money
it
together.
was a bunch of NFT guys on something called a DAO.
Wow, that's funny.
And they had purchased this thing for 100, and then at one point they're like, we're just gonna scan everything, make it JPEGs, and then we're gonna burn the original book and make the JPEGs really valuable that way. I just think, oh my god, this fucking culture is a
Yeah, yeah.
nightmare.
I think I shared it once on this one Facebook group, but it was apparently the scans to that Jodorowsky Dune book, and it is like hundreds of pages. There's a lot of pages in there. I went flipped through most of it, and it seems like it was. I wouldn't say that it is the book, but I think some of it is in there because it has a lot of different designs and
Hmm.
yeah, sets or just scenery and some storyboards, I guess, a lot of notes,
Yeah,
and you see like repeated material in there as well. So it's can't be like the official book, but people are saying it's a PDF of the book and it's making its rounds, but it's fun to look at.
I mean, Mobius is one of the greatest comic book artists of
Yeah.
all time, and so it's just nice to see his artwork.
Hmm.
I'm not a huge Dune fan,
Okay.
so I haven't read the book.
Hmm.
I saw the 1984 version of the movie. I saw the 2021 version of the movie and thought it was the worst film I saw in all of last year.
Wow.
Yeah, I really did not enjoy that motion picture. But I think the Jodorowsky documentary is compelling. I don't know if that movie would have been good
Mhm.
if it had been made.
Right.
It's fun to hear those stories,
For sure.
you know.
So how about the modern day Casino Royale? What would you do? A new one, a remake of it.
I think it's clearly
If you got the rights
Nick
to Casino
Cage
Royale.
and
Yeah.
and The Rock, and it's
Yes.
they're playing online poker.
Online, yeah, not even the casino. You're
Yeah,
online poker.
well, yeah. No, it's like some
His name
online poker.
online is his name tag is Lashif. You know.
Yeah, it's James Bond 007 because like there were 6 other people that were James Bond before him on the.
Yeah, they took the name. He's like,
Yeah.
007.
I think this would also be good as like also as a tribute to Orson Welles and like the kind of method acting that we see in the great actors of our time, the Robert De Niro's, the Christian Bales. If The Rock got really fat to play Lashif.
There is a movie. I think it's it's not artificial intelligence. It's like intelligence agency, something central intelligence. I think is the name of the film. But it's The Rock and Kevin Hart, and the beginning of that movie, it's like a digital fat suit on The Rock. I think he might have been in a fat suit for real, but I think it was like a digital thing. But it is hilarious. It is awesome. It's probably my favorite GIF online. He's just dancing in the shower, naked and fat.
That's sick.
Fantastic.
I love The Rock. The Rock's
Same.
great. The
Yeah.
Rock should be The Rock or
James
Nick
Bond.
Cage. Yeah, either one of those guys should be the next James Bond now that they don't have Craig anymore. I mean, what do you think about Craig? Does Craig work as Bond for you?
I like him. At first I didn't, but because I think at first I didn't like him because he wasn't your conventional good-looking Bond. But then again, in hindsight, I don't think most of the Bonds were really that good looking.
Who's
But
the
it's like
hottest Bond?
maybe Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, yeah,
Timothy
yeah.
Dalton's pretty charming.
I think Pierce is probably the sexiest Bond.
But I think if I had to pick a favorite Bond, it's got to be Connery. I just
What 100%? You would. Yeah, I feel like you'd be foolish not to.
my
Although
brother.
the Lazenby one isn't bad.
Yeah, I agree. And he has
That's not a-
3 balls in that movie.
Yes.
Canonically.
Yeah.
My brother's favorite Bond is Roger Moore, and so maybe wonder at first, and I was like, "Is it the Bond you grew up is your favorite Bond?" I was like, "No, I kind of grew up with like Timothy Dalton or Pierce Brosnan as mine," but I was like, "Nah, it's not really my favorite." But yeah, I'd probably say Sean Connery is my favorite.
I mean, and of the Sean Connerys, what do you think is your favorite?
At first I would say Goldfinger, and then I would have said Thunderball. Now I might just say Doctor No.
I just when they came out with the last Bond, they put up a bunch of the earlier ones on Hulu, and I rewatched Doctor No, Goldfinger, and From Russia with Love, and
It's been a long time since I've seen From Russia with Love, and that was
From
my
Russia
brother's
with Love is
favorite.
really good.
Yeah, that's my brother's favorite.
Really, really good one.
I'd have to watch it again to judge appropriately for sure. That was the
And
last one he did, right? I mean,
yeah,
technically,
well, he came back for
One
Never
Lives
Say
Twice.
Never Again.
Yeah, that's it.
But Doctor No is really good too. Honestly, I remember from seeing them as a kid, I remember loving Goldfinger, and I
Yeah.
didn't find it as compelling. And I think it's like the locations aren't as beautiful. I mean, when you think about like Doctor No, it's so tropical, and the From Russia with Love, the sets are it's this lush European vibe. Also, the enemy training ground is really crazy in From Russia with Love.
I do like Odd Job though. He's just there in Goldfinger. He's got the
Yeah,
hat.
no, Odd Job is great. No, he's wonderful. No offense to Mr. Job.
Mhm.
I think they should bring back Steve Jobs as the villain in the next one, and he like
From Tomorrow Never Dies. That one. That
yes,
guy.
or just bring back Steve, just hologram Steve Jobs as the villain. Maybe he's trying to shut down the online poker game that James Bond 007 and Le Chiffre are playing against each other in.
What's up, TJ?
And then they have to combine forces and keep the poker forum alive.
I love that. What's up, TJ? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey,
okay.
TJ.
How are you comparing satire to action drama?
They're
Yeah,
the same thing.
yeah. Please go back and watch the rest. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I've been having fun at least. Yeah, I guess to go back to our Nicolas Cage fan theory movie of what the new Casino Royale remake would be. So online poker tournament against The Rock. The Rock is Lashif. What I guess you can keep the premise of The Rock owes the Russians or someone money, so he has to pay it. He has to win this poker tournament. Uh, I think it's hilarious that it's online. That it just cracks me up.
Yeah,
Because there's like no one watching, and it takes away all the fanciness, you know.
totally,
They're just
totally.
in their living room, like in their pajamas or something, just looking like shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like what other stakes there would be. Like how would Vesper
There could be
come
an
into
internet
the
outage. The power goes out.
So everyone has to go outside.
Yeah,
They touch grass for 5 minutes and they just give up on whatever they're doing because they realize like they don't need to live in front of a computer anymore.
hmm they could
Um,
meet. I mean, they could like meet in like a gambling addicts anonymous meeting.
okay, all right, yeah, I like that. It sounds like I'm
That
trying
could
to
be
think of
the ending
how.
where they become friends IRL because in on the online circuit, they're bitter rivalries.
Oh yes. What if they go to like a gambling addicts AA kind of meeting,
That's
and
what I'm
then
saying.
but then they don't realize who they are. They just become friends, or maybe like one of them's like the not life coach, but whatever, like your sponsor.
Oh, that's so good.
So yeah, so
Fuck.
they're like hanging out. They become friends, and then later on they realize that that we live in the same city coincidentally, but we're online poker enemies. Uh, and I'm trying to think maybe Vesper can be like the group leader, of the meetings.
That's really good. Yeah, she's their sponsor.
There you go. Yeah, yeah,
That's so good. Fuck.
that's fun. That's fun.
And we can just recast Ava Green.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought of. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. No, she's great. Just bring her
Naturally.
back. Bring her back.
Put her in everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's been a while
Oh,
since she's been in something. I feel like she kind of disappeared.
she was in. She was the best part of the Tim Burton adaptation of Dark Shadows.
Yeah. I think the last thing I saw her in was the sequel to 300.
Was she also in the sequel to Sin City, or was she
I
in
think
Sin
she
City? She
was.
was in the original Sin
She
City.
was in. Yeah, she was in Sin City. Yeah, both Frank Miller properties. Yeah.
Oh no, the second one. She was in the Dame to Kill 4
Okay.
adaptation. She
Yeah, I think 300 Rise to Glory was the name. I think of that one. She was like
she was
the
the best part of that
Navy.
one too.
Yeah, she was the Navy kind of
Hmm
captain lady. Gore Vidal, what's
Yeah.
up, dude? Craig is closest to the Fleming novels. Yeah. Well, I mean, we also were talking about the old school black and white 1954 1 hour TV special, and that was very close. I feel like to the book. I'm sure I never read the novel, but I feel like it has to be close to material because they based it on. They said in the beginning, the introduction by the Crypt Keeper Twilight Zone stand-in. He's like, based off the book.
Yeah, the fake Rod Sterling comes in and
Yeah,
like is like explaining gambling mechanics to you. You're like, oh,
this
this
is
is
not a dangerous machine, or did he say no? He said it's not dangerous.
yeah. The people have won millions and lost their lives because of this thing.
Yeah, the contraption, the Baccarat like card holder thing, but it looked really dangerous because it's really big and bulky and heavy and
Yeah,
sharp
it
edges.
looks.
Like you could
Yeah,
like
you could like
kill someone with that
brain
thing.
someone with this thing. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be actually a good scene in our the one time they go to an actual casino, like something bad happens and they like get scared and have to go back to their online gambling
I
addiction.
would love if during that casino scene they actually use that card thing as a weapon, as a callback to the introduction of the 1954.
If MGM or the Ian Fleming estate is listening to this, or even
Oh
Daniel
god.
Craig for that matter, Daniel Craig could be watching this right now.
Or Nick Cage, please come hang out.
We have so many dope ideas for how to reboot Casino Royale for the fourth time.
Yeah, for the number 4, man, it's gonna be the best one.
Fourth time's the charm. That's the tagline.
Yeah,
And it's just
right.
Nick Cage and
Since
Fat the Rock staring at their phones playing online poker.
since the multiverse is hot now, do they go into the multiverse of other Casino Royales? Do they dip their fingers into those movies? Do we see any
Yeah, they could.
recurring
I mean,
cast members?
they could be like playing online poker while one of the different versions is playing on the TV. They could be watching one screen, holding the other screen, and I don't know. I feel like the more we talk about this idea, the more it offers some sort of meta commentary on I don't know, our kind of impoverished, empty existence. What are
Yeah,
we really gambling with at the end of the day?
right. Yeah, time, I guess. Right.
Fuck, that's so grim.
Our livelihood. Yeah, time. Yeah, it
Oh
sucks.
god.
Well, on that note, thank you everyone for joining. It's
Yeah,
been an
thanks for
hour.
watching, everybody.
It has been an hour. It is our closing time.
Yep.
Thank you to our sponsors at Famra. Please check out the Famra app. It is free to download, and we're
Do it.
on the dance floor on Famra. I do want to check out real quick on Famra. Let's teleport to a new location. There's a under the sea Halloween bridge, meditation, a campus, library, a dinner date. We saw the dinner date last time.
Yeah, that was great. That was really
Let's see what
romantic.
the meditation is. If we can take two to go there, let's see if it lets
Switching
us both.
spaces.
Oh,
Oh, this is great. Damn, dude.
this is
Fuck, this
cool.
is great.
Yeah, you got the ripples coming off you on the lily
Yeah, I
pad there.
know. I'm
That's
I'm the
nice.
center of attention on this one.
my nothing happens when I tap the screen here for me. Does
Yeah,
anything happen with you?
I'm just swimming.
Anything happen when you touch the screen with your guy? Your little
No, no,
avatar?
I'm
No.
just swimming.
Sometimes they have like animation things.
There's fireflies though. They're getting so good with this shit, man. Famra's
Yeah.
really stepping it up with the animation on this.
Yeah, that looks really nice. Nice colors. That looks very soothing. I like the meditation vibe off of this. Very cool. All right,
Now, if only the Famra people could generate a location where it's us watching a movie while looking at our phones.
you know what? Soon, I think that's going to happen because
Yeah.
there is a one space that I don't have access to right now. Maybe I can use the backend system and make myself an admin or something because I think I have access to that. Where there's this one space where it is a I think it's made for live performances, and they're still working on it. Where it looks like you're in a record, vinyl record kind of
Cool.
thing, and it's just I've seen people use it as a musical performances where they've like played acoustic guitar or like did some singing and things like that. But they're working on that space in particular because it has like a video screen behind, kind of like how our dance floor had like a video screen back
Mhm.
there. But you can use that as your share screen function, and I think you can even watch movies and things like that on there, and have everyone. I think there's like other records around the screen, so
This is how we get it done.
yeah,
This is how we do it.
that's
Well,
how. One last comment from Gore Vidal. He said, "From Russia with Love was Kennedy's favorite Fleming novel. Very nice."
well, look what happened to him.
My favorite film are From Russia with Love, The Man with the Golden Gun, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and The Spy Who Loved Me. Very good, man.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unimpeachable list.
Yes, definitely. All right. Well, we're
Well,
gonna
on
end.
that note, don't gamble with time. The
Yes.
67 Casino Royale is the best one, but Mads Mikkelsen is more fuckable than Orson Welles.
Or Peter Seller, right?
Yes, or yeah, Peter Sellers, Laurie.
Peter Lorre, Peter Sellers Lorre, completely
Yes.
unfuckable.
Disgusting man.
Where can the people find you, Mike?
You can find me at Mike Heresy on the Instagram. Post about movies, make films, write and illustrate graphic novels, and general jokester and all around perceived good guy.
Yeah. And what are you working on now?
Right now, I am still in post on my latest film, Your Heart is a Dark and Rotten Place. I have one graphic novel, King of Beasts, true crime, that is pending publication, and I am working on a new one that is a work of fiction. That is a psychedelic detective story called You'll Never Take Me Alive.
Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited for your comic stuff and your film stuff, man. You do so much.
Oh, thank you, Jay. I hope to God I can share these things soon and that they're well received.
Yeah, man. To give everyone the taste of our next meeting, are you available next week? Are we
Yep,
doing it
let's
next
do it.
week?
Let's do it. Let's do it next week.
What are we watching, man?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
It'll whatever it's gonna be. It's gonna be dope.
All right. To be determined. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye.